on it, and I think Robin did as well.
It was a while
I
ago.
did read it.
I'll read it right now.
It was the scribe taking down notes from you guys describing the events that took place in the forest. Anyways, even if you didn't read it, it doesn't matter because none of it's actually real. Because this is where you'll actually be telling the council what happened. So without any further ado, that was the sound of Old Mossy teleporting you into the center of the keep, which you have never been to before. Find yourself in a very large room filled with ornate statues, a large table, and 7 people sitting around it. One of which you do recognize as Zevis.
And Torrance's eyes light up, and she's like, "Ah, Sevis is here."
Be calm, be calm. Don't freak out.
Some of the others you might have seen around town. If so, probably just a glance. Old Mossy hobbles forward. And as he hobbles forward, to your right and middle left, you see Fitz and Vanilla start coughing up blood.
Nice.
Shoot.
It's those damn leeches.
Try to help kind of like keep Vanilla upright. Miss
They
Vanilla.
start spitting up black tar.
I don't know what's happening. What's happening? Does anyone have any healing?
Meanwhile, the council members are just in awe.
I'll heal them, I guess. So we're
I don't
just
think
coughing
you
up
can
blood.
at this point.
Well, what's the leeches? Is that what's happening?
All you know is you saw them cough up blood. And they start coughing up black tarish, gooey material,
What the fuck?
and they fell over.
All of a sudden, no warning or anything.
Miss Vanilla.
I assume they're both dead.
Like, oh, Miss Vanilla, Mr. Fitz.
Hey, go check their pulse.
You feel nothing.
What the?
Somebody please help them.
So they
I
look
look
at the
gravely
council and be
at
like,
everyone.
"Help them, please!"
I look gravely and I look at everyone and say, he's dead.
The druid kind of goes over and checks them both and confirms what you say.
So, is Adam gonna have a new character out of game?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh.
Sevis stands up from his spot at the table. Says, "What is the meaning of this?"
I'm unsure, Mr. Sevis.
No idea. They just coughed up and died. They must have caught something in the forest we were sent in.
Face sniffling over Vanilla.
They went swimming in a lake and leeches got stuck to them, sir.
I'm saying, why are you here? No one should be able to get in this building using magic.
We don't even know
What?
why we're here, sir.
How did we get here anyway?
Mr. Mossy, sir?
He says another problem for another time.
Mr. Mossy, is there a reason we were brought to the council?
You must explain to them what happened in the forest.
Everything that happened in the forest?
Everything that you think is important.
Okay. But we found this weird blood fountain sacrifice thing, and Mr. Fitz decided to cut himself and put his blood in all the things. And we all kind of saw a vision. And it was about Lightshade. Well, a second, I have to find my notes on what was in that vision. We saw the town on fire and everybody dead. Everyone we care about was killed, and there were these 3 cloaked figures standing over, was it a cauldron, I believe? She's gonna look to, like, Phelan.
She'll give a nod for that after kind of steadily composing herself and standing up again because of poor Benela.
Yep. They were in, pardon me, golden black robes standing over a bubbling cauldron, and we saw Lightshade on fire and everyone dying of sickness. There were dead bodies everywhere, and they were being carted out of town. And then on the next vision, we saw a round table with the same 3 figures standing around it with a map of the world, and our home, all of our homes and Lightshade were crossed off. I don't know what this means. Can you tell us?
Neither do I. All we know is that we saw one of those. It looked like one of the people, the same type of robe, standing the next time we were back in that altar area, and then we tried to attack him and get him to stay, and then he just disappeared.
The person sitting here looks over at Sevis and says, "So your members are practicing blood magic now."
What? No?
Well, I guess only Fitz, but clearly...
Yeah, we weren't involved for that, certainly.
It's not as though he built the altar either.
Well, out of character, he's not here to disprove us, so...
He's also dead.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know why Mr. Fitz did that, but I know what we saw.
They're just children. We all know that hallucinogens are within that force's capabilities.
That was no hallucination, sir. It was very vivid and very real.
Besides, wouldn't hallucinogens require some sort of contact? I was a goodly distance away.
And we all saw the same vision, pretty much.
Or at least different views of the same vision.
What proof can you muster to us? As this person right here.
Well, can anyone read our minds here?
Says I can.
Who's... Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just clicking into factions. Then do so.
It's not hard for someone to disguise their thoughts. I can
What
read
if
what
we
you're
read
thinking. I cannot read what you've seen before.
What about a zone of truth?
Magic.
Besides, even if you say something that you saw actually happened, there's a matter that you could believe what you're saying, and to you it could be truth. To everyone else, it could be false.
I sigh heavily.
All I know is that something terrible could happen, and it would be unlike being an ally of justice not to at least look into it if it might be true. Because if it's not, then good, but if it is, then we're all in big trouble. We need to let you know that.
In
I
trouble of what?
agree. Dying.
The entire town.
Our whole city, plus everywhere else. Dead. Everyone dead. Don't you think we should look into that?
Person
Yeah,
sitting here
sitting.
says, "You've given us very little to go off of, other than this dirty druid teleporting you in here, which we'll get back to that later. Show up with two that bleed and cough and die, and start going on something about blood magic and hallucinations, and the city's in trouble, and you offer us no proof."
All I know is that that altar was still in there. Whatever that roped figure person did to it, he marked off all the etchings on it and messed it up.
We can take you to where the altar was, but it doesn't
If the
work
forest is
anymore.
still around, yeah. Firstly, I suppose the fire needs to get down.
Oh yeah, that's correct. The forest is also on fire. But the altar is in a cave that we could possibly take you to.
This person at the Mission of Fire says, "What fire?"
We tried to escape the fire, and we went back into the altar cave, and that's when Mr. Mossy Sir found us.
What fire?
There was a giant tree, I assume tree ant, on fire.
And then the
were just trying to
entire
escape it.
forest around it that we went in for our initiation caught on fire.
So what you're saying is, the city's in trouble. And it's this person over here. Saying the city's in trouble, and that the forest to the north is on fire.
That is correct.
That's all we know of until we suddenly appeared here.
Olmossy excuses himself and says, "I will be tending to that fire."
Thank you for rescuing us, Mr. Mossy Sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. I like how he walks out, but he teleported in.
Like how nobody stopped him.
It's like mic drop. Like mic drop, I'm out.
Who is it that left?
Mossy, the druid.
The druid.
Oh, okay. I thought he might have ulterior motives, but he's a druid, and the forest is on fire, so I don't think he has.
Mr. Sebas, sir, do you believe us? We wouldn't lie to you.
He kind of sighs and says, "I'm unable to weigh in on this, as you are my underlings."
Underlings?
We do work for Night Song now, or at least we were trying to.
Yeah, but that's not... Underlings, really?
Yeah, we'd be.
People under his charge.